Ladies and gentlemen, filmmakers and moviegoers alike, welcome to Cranky the Casual. I'm your host, Sweet Cuffs. Joining me as always is Darky Dev. You gotta do something real quick?
No,
No?
we're
Awesome.
good.
Sweet. How you doing there, Frando?
I'm doing all right.
That's good. There are things that I want to say because, like, they sounded really cool in our movies, but I'm not sure if I should, so I'm not gonna. No, just because.
I don't know where you're going with that.
Nothing wrong, nothing bad. I just don't want to be an inconsiderate asshole. I don't know.
All right. Um.
What's
So I'm gonna start off with a quick update. So originally we said that next week would be Judas and the Black Messiah and the Five Bloods. Forgot when it came out, so it's shuffling to the week after next, and next week is Wrinkle in Time and Selma.
I mean, at least it's not like
Just
that
a quick flop.
Yeah, at least it's not like that one time when we're like, we're gonna do movie number 5. It totally exists when it didn't.
Movie 4.
I was talking about Maze Runner.
Yeah, that was movie 4 that I thought existed.
No, we watched movie 3 and 4, and then you thought there was a 5, and
No, we watched 2, 3.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're probably right.
I am right. What? So probably about it. I can look at last year's fucking list.
So could I. I'm just not gonna. No point. We're on the now, damn it.
What? What? You're the one who brought it up. I fucking hate you. God damn it, man.
I know. I'm a loose cannon on the edge. But
And I'm about to break.
I wasn't going with that song, but that works.
Oh well, I'm here. Don't worry. That's
take
where I
it.
went with it.
It's no problem. Well, it's not bad. Well, we're gonna move on. We're gonna start talking about today's movies, which I called this week "Police Quote Unquote Justice."
That's the quotes really do add a lot to that.
Do they?
Well, I mean, because the first movie.
Yeah.
Like,
And the second one, we'll talk about.
yeah, we'll talk about that one too.
Yeah. So, we're talking about Queen and Slim, and then we're going to talk about the BlackKklansman, and then we'll wrap everything with the news and wrap up. Anything at all before we start talking about these movies? Anything else?
No, I already hit my point.
All right, sweet.
Just a quick schedule update.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for doing that.
Oh, that's what I'm here for.
All right. You know what else you're here for? Uploading pictures to Instagram.
Fuck! Damn it! I knew I forgot something!
I had a feeling. I was like, I bet he didn't do this.
Give me a fucking second.
Yeah, take your time. Do it. It's a no rush.
Fuck. I have it. I download it as soon as you send it to me, too. Like, every time. As soon as you send it, I download it on my phone, like, oh, that's not the right profile. I'm on me still. I need to be on Har.
I hate that sometimes. During my internship, there was one day when I was like constantly switching back and forth between my account and the company account. And I was like, all right, now I got to post a picture for this parade, and we're doing like 3 parades on this day, and then I accidentally posted on my account rather than the right account, and I was like, oh man. This is
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's tough.
gotta keep track of everything. All right, so let's get talking. Let's start about these things. We're gonna start today by talking about Queen and Slim. So starting this movie off, like, I know what I was expecting, and I would say it kind of blew me out of the water. Like,
It's a good movie.
I loved this movie.
I think
Go ahead.
for me personally, and I had a little bit of foresight about it without knowing how what happened, but I do agree with the opinion I was shared with, is that the ending does feel unjust,
Yes.
but the other part of me also goes into the fact that that it feels like the logical conclusion given it's America,
Hmm. Like what
which I
happens?
kind of hate more.
What happens in this movie and how it ends? Like it fits because of course the place that it takes place and the time and whatnot, but also because of what happens in the beginning of the movie. Like how the conflict begins is exactly how the conflict ends.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of like written poetically, but it doesn't play off incredibly well. Like, and I was expecting something to this degree too. Like this movie, the entire time I was watching it, just like oozed other like movies that just came to mind, and naming them would just kind of spoil this film. So I'm not gonna. But I just
It's a movie that you should watch.
absolutely, I 100% think you should watch this movie. However, food for thought. Do you think? Because I think this. Do you think this would be a better TV show?
I
And
don't know in
uh,
that sense. I feel like it'd have to be a. I think the story we get,
mhm,
I think it's a condensed story, so it works in that sense. You would have to like change a few things and change like there'd be a lot of changes you'd have to make it into a movie or a TV show, in my opinion.
mhm.
So I'm not entirely sure where you flesh certain things out and stuff like that. You could do a concept similar to, while not necessarily being the exact same thing.
Yeah, like I like this idea for what they came up with, and the idea that I came up with the TV show idea because this movie is kind of segmented into many multiple parts. Because this is what I would consider an adventure movie, where you get in a car and you're just on an adventure, and the two people on the trip get to know each other as they get to know the country as they're going along, type thing. Like that. That's this kind of movie. It happens all the time. Um, the things that I would change, honestly, one of the big things that I would change is the amount of time that passes in this movie. Because it is stated in this movie that only 6 days pass. And like this, I like what happens. I feel like it's realistic for the most part, what happens in this movie when it comes to relationships and development of the characters. But at the same time, I wish more time passed. I wish it was maybe like 2 weeks, maybe at most. And like I don't want it to stretch out to months. That's not good. That'd be bad. But you're funny.
What? Yeah, I know.
But going on from that though, like there are I do like this movie. There are moments that I really enjoy. Like I think my favorite part of the film is the kind of relationship climax where I think you get what I'm getting at when I
Yeah,
and how it's intercut with the protest and everything that's
yeah.
happening. Like I love that. I love that scene so much because it's two different moods building up, and it's like showing up. It's showing what they've done both with each other and how they've developed, but also what they've done to the country as a whole. And like I really enjoyed this movie. I liked how it set. I developed a world in its own way. It like helped develop the characters in a really mostly realistic way. I like the ending, like you said, is a little rough. Um,
It's rough in the sense that like it's not like I want to. It's tough to explain. I don't want to call it a necessarily bad ending, but it's not the ending that like it's not a just ending.
mm-hmm.
Um, it's the best way I would put it because it's just it's gutting.
Yeah.
Um, because it's not how you wanted things to go, and
Mm-hmm.
like
Like as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, like I literally like I was fine watching this movie, and I had a feeling something was going to happen. Like that's just what happens in these kinds of movies. But the timing of it really is what threw me off. Like it brought a tear to my eye because it felt really unexpected. But that's also kind of what I felt was one of the most powerful things is because it's also very similar to the start of the movie. It was very unexpected.
Yeah. And I mean, like, this movie does tackle a lot of like very current events. It did come out 2019, November 27th. So it hits a lot of like current event beats.
Mhm.
It had a budget of $18 million. Opening US made $11 million. Gross US 43 million, and worldwide made 47 million. So a little over double. So not, because you usually want to aim for triple the budget.
Yeah.
As we stated, not quite that. Which sucks. I think like this movie probably could have done really well if like, I don't know where it went, like where I guess like sales didn't come from. I'm trying to think of like what else even came out that late other than like Star Wars was a few weeks later for Rise.
Mhm.
Which maybe cut a little bit of that, because I mean this is one of those ones that like would have been, I think this was on our radar when it came out, but like I think we had stuff planned out for the month already, because that's the week that we did I think that was uh 21 Bridges.
I think so, yeah.
And then the week after that was Knives Out.
Let me
So I think
see,
we
because
had
I
that
blocked our
booked.
camera real fast. Come on, there we go.
I believe that's what we had booked for those were the 2 weeks we had
Let's see. So going through
around November
2019,
27th.
going to once my computer loads everything. It's my computer's been a little slow lately.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. So November 27th. Yeah. So the next show after that would have been December 2nd. And that show we had 21 Bridges. It was Chadwick Boseman week. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The Kill Hole and 21 Bridges.
Yeah, wow, my memory served me all right. Because yeah, that came out that week too, and that's what we chose to watch that week. Because we were going to do the Chadwick Boseman week and the Chris Evans week.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think it just missed the cut for us for what we were choosing to do for that time.
Yeah, only because it didn't fit a theme, and kind of regret it.
Yeah,
this
same.
is a better movie.
Yeah, not to say that 21 Bridges was necessarily a bad film.
No, but
I just think this one's better.
I 100% agree. I like this one a lot better. Like, there was a lot of moments in this movie where I was like, am I going to give this like a 9 out of 10? And the answer is no. No, I'm not going to give it a 9 out of 10. But there were definitely moments that made me like forget that I was a critic. And I was just really swept up in the like emotions of what was going on. And it was nice. I thoroughly enjoyed this film for what it had to offer, especially like the transition of cinematography throughout the entire film. One thing that I wanted to talk to you about, you might have noticed it, is one thing that they do with cinematography, like I've talked to you about it in the past, is where bodies are positioned on the screen. And if they agree with somebody, they're usually on opposite sides of the screen talking in towards each other. But if they disagree, if they're like, or if they're kind of not on the same side as each other, they're usually like right next to each other on the screen, still facing each other. So if you're in agreement, one's on stage left of the screen, one's on stage right, and they're talking in towards the center. But if you're not agreeing, one's on stage right and one's on stage left, and they're like right at each other talking. And it's like, it's supposed to show that they're not agreeing. There's some tension and stress and whatever's going on. And then throughout this film, as things are progressing, the camera slowly slides over more and more to like include both of them together, or like inside the vehicle, so you could like feel the tension. Like, they do a lot of cinematography stuff where you could just feel the presence of things. Where at the beginning of the movie, they're apart using the weird side angles, or all the cameras of them talking are outside of the vehicle and it's not really on them, but it's like their silhouettes of things as they're talking. And then as we progress halfway through the film, we're almost inside the vehicle, where we're like, cameras are mounted on the doors just outside the vehicle, and they're like looking in through open windows or closed windows, and then at the end of the film, we're inside the cabin with them. The camera's squared up perfectly. They're almost always together. Like, it's very simple, but I like it.
I like the music a lot.
The music too,
You know,
yeah,
I'm a sucker for music in movies.
or the
Um,
lack thereof when it came to the
well,
beginning.
that's true, but also I guess the moment, like, there are a lot of good moments where music is integrated into. I can't remember the technical term. Where it's integrated into the scene.
Mhm.
Um, there's a term for it
Yes, there
because like
is.
you're hearing it and they're hearing it.
We've
God
talked
damn
about it
it,
before.
I can't remember it now. I learned about it because I watched James Palmer talk about Ruby. Fuck. That though, there's a lot of that in this movie, which I think works really well for a sense of like
Diegetic music.
diegetic. There we go. It really works in a way to kind of immerse you into the world. So
Mhm.
I'm a sucker for diegetic music. Like I talked about it with Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse, like that opening scene with Sunflower, um the scene with Peter Parker. I'm going to a different Spider-Man now. In the jet. I love the Zeppelin. Um Stuff like that, or Iron Man anytime he cut, AC/DC's playing. Um just he's hearing it and we're hearing it, kind of stuff
Yeah,
like that's really great. I know I'm going superhero with it, but let me be me
I
for
mean
a
it's
moment.
pop culture. People
Yeah.
will get those references.
I mean, there is the fact that we do have a Marvel alumni, two technically.
Ooh.
You've got Daniel, I'm terrible with last names,
Mhm.
Kaluuya, um
We'll just say yes.
who was Wakabi in Black Panther.
The best friends. Yeah.
Yes. And then you have Bookham Woodbine, who was in Spider-Man: Homecoming as the Shocker.
Ooh. Shocker.
So two Marvel alumni. So I always got to point out when we go to Marvels in here.
Absolutely. That's how it works.
It's,
But if
it's
I
what I
wasn't,
do.
yeah, if I wasn't lazy, there'd be a special graphic every time on YouTube right around this moment.
You just pop up what movie they were in, just the
Yeah,
poster drop down.
yeah. Marvel.
If they're in multiple, it starts to scroll up.
Yeah, it just starts at 1 and then
Fuck! Anytime we get a movie with Robert Downey Jr., Samuel Jackson, Chris Evans, any of them,
yeah,
that would just go.
but good thing I'm lazy and won't do that.
Who knows? Maybe you'll start doing it because you've talked about it now.
Probably not.
No, for me, like I'm a sucker. Like back to it, like I'm a sucker for diegetic music. Like it just it really immerses me into a moment. When like the music immerses the characters in the movie too.
Mhm.
I guess is a good way how I would put it. Yeah, I mean that's just the way I'd put it.
Okay, I hear ya. Yeah, I like that they did that too. I like especially how they'll even use the music in certain scenes to portray emotion and like just how conflicted they are in the moment and like how it can be serene at times. Though I do like how they their choice of songs very often where it's very simple music where it's literally just like one line but it fits so perfectly with the scene. It's great. Great. Very good. But it's also could be a little obvious depending on how you're thinking about it. Like I'm going on the positive side of these things, but I could also negatively critique some of these things. Um Either way, like for instance, one of the things I wanted to talk about was there's a moment in this film where our lead actress um who goes by Queen in this moment.
Jodie Turner-Smith.
Yeah. Like in this where she leads a prayer at a dinner table even though she's not religious. And then later on in the movie, probably like 20 minutes later, when she's like, I swear to God, and he says, swear to something you believe in. Um, it like I liked that scene because it kind of portrayed like a willingness to adopt and change and like show interest in the things that you're interested in somebody else. Like, but at the same time, it felt insincere, I guess. Like it was a forced character moment, I guess.
I mean, like in that kind of moment, like we have like that's a I would say a normal romantic subbeat. Like it's a little bit of role reversal from what it normally is.
Mhm.
Because like the first example and probably the worst example of it that always comes to my mind though is Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
Um, so love has blinded you, all that stuff. Where Anakin essentially says like he's so madly in love that he would do anything for Padme. It's kind of like that kind of line, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so I can understand why you're critiquing it, but at the same time, there are far worse ways to go about it, and always the one that comes to mind is the worst for me. Um, and I actually kind of like how that one works because it does show that she's um grown to genuinely care about him during this.
Hmm.
Um, and it does show a little bit of hope too during it,
Okay.
which is needed in some cases because sometimes the world does feel hopeless, and to give a little hope to people is good. That would be my counterpoint,
I hear you.
but I also understand your points.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna though. I'm feel like from that. Is there anything else you want to talk about when it comes to Queen and Slim, or do you want to move on to the next movie?
Oh, we can move on. We can move on.
We can move on. We can move on. All right.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm gonna give you your popcorn kernels. How many?
I'm gonna give it out of 10 popcorn kernels. I'm bouncing between an 8 and an 8.5.
8 and 8.5. Okay.
Yeah,
Why exactly
I'm
might that
gonna
be?
bump it up to an 8.5. I think for me, it's just that like I think the ending is just one of those things that just like I would have liked something else out of the ending, but I get why the ending's the ending. It's just one of those things that's kind of like I don't know. It's gutting. So
Yeah.
I'm like torn between it because it's a really good movie overall, though. So I think I'm gonna give it an 8. Is what my gut's telling me.
8.
Not quite an
Okay.
8.5, I guess for
Not a
me.
roundup this time.
I usually do round up, don't I? Okay, okay. I'll keep my rule. I'll keep my rule.
Okay.
8.5. I'll round up.
Okay. Because I myself am going to give it an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that rounds up overall to an 8.5.
Mhm.
We
Like
don't do quarter points.
throughout this movie, I had a lot of conflicting emotions. Like I at one point was like, yeah, 9 out of 10. There's a moment there I was like, maybe it's a 10 out of 10. But I was like, no, this movie's definitely not a 10 out of 10. Rein it back, Steven. Calm down. Focus a little bit more. Pay attention to things. And at one point I got as low as maybe like a 6 out of 10. But I was like, no, this is a good movie. This is one that I definitely recommend people watch. It is very much like not like an entertaining like haha romp joyride filled with thrills and chills. Like it has suspense and it has a lot of great character development. And I would definitely recommend it to a lot of people.
Oh, so I was looking something up. The director of this, Mel- uh, Melina. There we
Yeah,
go.
Melina
I sounded it out
Matsuka.
correctly. Matsokes.
I think it's Matsukas, but I can't tell.
I think this is her directorial debut for like a movie as well. Because most of the time she's done video shorts. Looking at it as well. So,
I like the TV show
uh,
Insecure that she's done.
all right. Well, that's that's her other work. So, I
Video
mean,
shorts. Usually doesn't that usually mean music videos?
Yes, most of them are music videos. From like Rihanna, Beyonce, Lily Allen. There was
Carrie Hilson,
Alicia Keys. A lot of people. A
Lady
lot of
Gaga.
people. Yeah, a lot of people.
Oh,
Um,
Snoop Dogg.
So like, this is a strong outing, in my opinion, for movie wise. So I look forward to what she does in the future.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. Going on to our next film. Come on, computer, work with me. There we go. There we go. All right, moving on to our next film. We're going into the black. Oh, not the. We're going into BlackKklansman.
I put the in the title for my
Okay.
Instagram post. Damn it!
I keep messing it up. It's just called
It is Black
BlackKklansman.
Klansman.
Yeah.
Okay. Why is this like Mandela effect here again?
I think so. I mean, I did it last week, the BlackKklansman. It just
It
makes
feels like a Mandela effect thing,
yeah.
doesn't
It
it?
makes more sense to me. But
Yeah.
it's not called the BlackKklansman. It's just called BlackKklansman. With a capital K, lowercase K, and a capital K.
Yeah. So this movie came out August 10th, 2018, with a budget of, scrolling down, $15 million, made $10 million on its opening weekend in the US, made $49 million gross US, and it made 93 worldwide. That is what 6 times the budget. So pretty damn good. For that kind of film. It's a good turn in. Um Man, I loved this movie from start to finish.
I had moments like this movie. I like it quite a bit. I thought it was definitely a fun roller coaster of a ride where we got to go on highs and lows and like get to hear out everything that's going on, especially because it's also based off of a true story. Um, I the things that I think the high parts of this film, the best parts probably for me, are the comedy bits where you're sitting in the middle of the scene, you're going through the conversation, and then suddenly a joke pops out, and it's just hilarious. Like, not always. They're not always funny jokes, but 9 times out of 10, they're pretty good.
I love Adam Driver and John David Washington's chemistry together in this movie. Those two bounce off each other in really impressive ways. Also, the fact they got the other Buscemi in this movie with Michael Buscemi, like I saw him, like, you look familiar. You're not who I think you are. You're not Steve, but what?
You're almost there. Yeah.
My brain was like because you don't quite get like a good straight on shot from him. He's usually kind of towards the backdrop immediately when you see him. I'm like, that's not Steve Buscemi, is it? What? No, it wasn't. It was Michael.
Yeah, he's not quite slunking in enough.
There we go. That's why my brain was like, what the fuck? You are eerily similar looking.
Yeah,
all right, Hollywood. But like those three too. And then where's their direct Sergeant Trap, played by Ken Gartito. Garito.
Something like that. I don't know.
Dude, those four together, like, that was fun.
Yeah, there's this one moment in the movie where Ken has a spit take, and like,
yes,
and I was like, is this real? Was that a line?
It's such a genuinely good spit take.
Yeah, like
that. Like, it doesn't seem acted.
Yeah, I was like, this has to be a line that was out of nowhere, improv, and it just blew him out of the water. But I couldn't find it.
Um,
I couldn't find out if that was real or not. Like in the script. Or not.
dude, it's a good, like this movie's just good. I mean, I enjoy a lot of it. Music's good.
I think my
The
favorite part of this whole thing, my favorite casting choice of the whole movie, has to be.
I know where you're going with it.
Do you know where I'm going with it?
I know 100% where you're going with it.
Please do tell. I want you to say it for me.
Oh, let me fucking find them on here.
Yeah, I was about to say, have fun fighting at IMDb because they're assholes.
Why is it set like this? God damn it. Where is he? Goddamn fucking the son from 70s show.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Eric.
Yeah, god damn it.
His name is Topher Grace.
There we go. Thank you, Topher Grace as goddamn David Duke.
Yeah, like.
By the way, I didn't realize how much he looked like that until like
the very end.
Scene. Yeah. I was like, oh, all right.
Like they put him in that role, and I was like, oh, that's hilarious because he's like the most non-assuming person you would think of ever, and then it just.
And then like it. Well, on that beat, like I think that's one of the things that like this. I think this movie kind of hits because like there are the people you would assume would be Klansmans in this movie. And then there are the people you wouldn't.
Yeah. That is the point of this movie, indeed.
And I think this movie does a good job of that. It's also just like I'm not gonna lie, the end of this movie because there's a like at the tail end of the movie we kind of jump to more modern stuff for a moment. And it just that hit me on a different beat than like especially after watching this film and then being reminded of that. I'll get into it when we go into spoilers. Yeah. What exactly I'm talking about, but because it was recent events that was
very recent,
only a few years ago, and it was one of those things that I was like, "Fuck." Like
that.
I know that
they were in the middle of making this film when that happened. Like
it hit me on a different beat than like even though like it's like those events have hit me like they just it hit a different level, I guess, for me. And it frustrated me. Because it's seeing it back because this movie takes place in the 70s, right? If I remember correctly. Like just seeing that there's still such a lack of progress on some stuff fucking sucks, man. Because like some of the shit that happens in this movie still fucking happened today, and it sucks. And like that end just fucking nail in the coffin for me, and I was like, I cried at the end. I was like, "Fuck, man, this was yesterday, pretty much."
I think I was a little more emotional at the end of Clean and Slim myself, but
that's fair.
Yeah, but I also get you. I like the end of this movie was fairly emotional for different reasons, but I also feel like one of my biggest complaints about this movie is the ending also felt kind of unsatisfying. Like
I think what a weird week. Both movies, really good movies, but the end feel like damn it. They don't feel.
They're unsatisfying for different reasons for me. Like the last movie was unsatisfying because just their decision making. This movie was unsatisfying for me because it was based off of real life events, and real life isn't satisfying. Yeah,
and that fucking sucks, man. Like,
especially to think about it too. Like I looked it up later. Like if this supposedly takes place in the 70s, this is real life event that happened. 89 to 93, David Duke was in Congress. 19 years after this, he's in Congress as a congressman. Only for 3 years, but still, like, They make the joke in this movie, which I thought was so perfect, especially because they were making this movie around. They probably started filming probably 2015, 2016. We're in the middle, maybe later, maybe 2017. But like, they literally make the joke that they wouldn't hire somebody and make somebody like David Duke the president. And yeah,
Dude, there's a lot of like moments in this movie that are definitely written for today, for like
yes,
an audience essentially post Trump, post Trump being elected,
yeah,
not necessarily post Trump out of office,
yeah.
but post that event happening.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Especially like it's super poignant too because literally just the other day I'm hearing people talk like non-white supremacists, at least they say they're not, talking about things that freaking David Duke in this movie was talking about. Like literally line for lines he's saying or stuff that I hear in daily conversations happening today. It's stupid.
I mean, the problem. So to get political for a moment,
Yeah, go
is
for it.
that
I mean, it's kind of the point of this week or month, isn't it?
I mean, with this movie, you kind of have to be, because I mean, it's stuff that shouldn't be political, but people have made it political. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the problem with it too is that like white supremacy isn't inherently like necessarily active
Mm-hmm.
like white supremacy. There's inactive white supremacy that people don't necessarily realize that they're saying the talking points of the fucked up shit.
They bring it up in The Boys. It's
Yeah,
people love what she has to say. They just don't like the word Nazi.
yeah. It's that's it. Like that is a great example of it. Because it's just like the fact that this rhetoric is still around and people don't realize what they're saying sometimes because it's ingrained into them. Like it sucks because they don't, because you want people to be able to be like you in the sense of being like, hey, treat others the way you want to be treated. Be good to people.
Yeah.
And people maybe think they are, but they don't. But they aren't, because the way that like they think through things,
Mm-hmm.
the processes that they think things through. Like, no, we're being good to each other. We just don't think they should be the same as us.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's just it's why there's some satisfying moments in this. By the way, there's an extremely satisfying moment in this movie, of some tomfoolery that if you're paying attention, you know it's coming, but
Mhm.
it's still kind of like, but is it coming? What is the outcome of this situation? Um, it's a really, I think, brilliantly directed scene, and shot scene, and just set up scene, because you don't quite know where the MacGuffin of the scene is.
Mhm.
You have an idea where it is, but you're like, A or B, where'd it go? You find out which one it is. C.
I'm not sure the MacGuffin's the right word, if I'm thinking of the right scene, but either way.
I'm looking for a term. The thingy mabob. Okay.
Mhm. I hear ya.
The
Is it the main
the-
plot device that gets the movie flowing? Or is it a
No, I'm
convenient
talking
thing that
about
saves the day?
it's the thing. It's the plot device for the scene where it's intense. Someone's tackled.
I guess technically that could be considered a MacGuffin.
It's a MacGuffin in the sense that, like, where to go. So
I always think of a MacGuffin as like a driving force for the storyline. Like, for instance, fun MacGuffins would be like the One Ring.
the Force.
No, the Force is a Deus Ex Machina. It's where out of nowhere the Force solves the problem.
That never happens.
Never.
Um,
Not once.
but no, I'm not gonna lie though. This movie had some brilliant goddamn comedy.
Mhm.
It was really well shot. I do like how it tackles like because this is the 70s. They're in a small town. Not that like Colorado Springs is actually small, but it's smaller compared to like other places. And it's definitely in what would be considered white America
Hmm.
at the time. So him being the first black officer on the force, like that, like dynamic of trying to come to terms with that for himself, for the people around him, stuff like that. I think they do really well with too.
Hmm.
Um, it's just I just genuinely really enjoyed this movie.
No, yeah, it was definitely an enjoyable film to watch. Like this one, I didn't really take many notes on. There wasn't too much that I wanted that caught my attention. Maybe the only thing that I was slightly disappointed by was the marketing choice. Like, for instance, the poster here that I have on the screen is supposedly our Ron. I can't pronounce his last name. Is supposedly
Ron Stallworth.
yes, Ron Stallworth. He is supposedly our Ron Stallworth, but we never get the scene in the movie or anything similar to it.
I mean,
Like
that's just marketing
I hear
for
ya.
posters.
That's just disappointing to me. I'm not gonna hold that against the movie, but it's
I get that. I mean, you I think are more critical of the marketing side of things. Like if a poster has it, you feel like it needs to be there.
it'd be cooler
Um,
if it was in there.
I don't know if Blazing Saddles did it as well. But I don't know if it would have worked in this movie. Um,
Dipsits did it.
well, I mean, Blazing Saddles made in a comedy, and I also love Blazing Saddles because not the reason people think Blazing Saddles is an amazing movie, the reasons that it's actually an amazing movie. Because most people are like, well, you can't make a Blazing Saddles today. You legitimately can't though, because that was making fun of westerns of the time and their lack of inclusion, their lack of like their immense stereotyping stuff like that. So yeah, no shit, you can't make a fucking goddamn Blazing Saddles today in the same vein. Anyways, um,
There's a lot of things you can't make that you couldn't back then, but that's different. Oh.
it's one of those like I don't think that scene would have fit into this movie. I don't
Mhm.
think it could have happened in this movie.
Yeah.
What I will say though is this movie has a lot of fantastic moments, and you should definitely watch it.
I definitely once again recommend this movie to everybody. This was a movie that I wanted to do because I thought it was going to be amazing the entire time. Like, and it was. It genuinely was a movie that kept me drawn in and attentive, and it's really quite powerful. Especially, there's one scene that I love in particular,
Particular.
yeah, in particular, where um, it's just because of the cinematography of the scene, where we have both of our supposed main characters in this ploy, back to back, or sitting back to back, staring at a board and then looking at a card and like talking to each other. And I just love the framing of the scene and how the camera angle moves between them and how as they talk. And once again, one thing that we're gonna have to do at some point. This may not be a once again moment. Just I've determined this that at some point here, we're gonna have to do like an Adam Driver week because he's just a good actor.
I'm down with that.
See
Um,
more of what he has to offer.
I'm down with doing like actor weeks some more because those are fun.
Mhm.
I think this is the first real movie for me that I've seen um John David Washington in, like to my memory, like as like a as a major role in it, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
But he's the main character in he's the protagonist in
Tenet.
Tenet. Um, so we may that's on our list of movies that we will be checking out at some point. So I look forward to seeing him in that as well. There's a lot of people in this movie that I look forward to seeing again. There's someone who I didn't like quite expect to see towards the beginning of this movie, which is Alec Baldwin.
Absolutely, especially too because like that character that I don't understand. I do and I simultaneously do and don't understand that Alec Baldwin's thing, because it's like it shows kind of the ideology of that side and what they're going on. But like, what character is he? Like, looking up that character, it's a made up fictional character. It's somebody that Spike Lee made up just for this movie. And like, I guess it was supposed to be an allusion towards that War Games, I think it was. Let
Well,
me see.
also I think it kind of alludes to like um
I have to remember what the flag scene I'm thinking of. You can keep talking, but I just have.
I'm looking up real quick. Yeah, I think he's just making. I think it's supposed to just be based off of like that ideology, and like people would film like those kind of things for like recruitment videos and like idealistic like drilling into people videos, kind of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That you would play, like the fact that they played God damn, I can't remember the name of the movie that the clan watches. Fuck.
Referenced by name in that movie too.
It is 100%. Oh god damn it. Um but it's one of those, it's god damn it. It essentially shows the Confederacy under a good light, which is bullshit as well because goddamn daughters of the fucking Confederates bullshit. It's just more of that rewriting of history. It's whitewashing of history.
Yeah.
And like I think his character is supposed to be like the video embodiment of that, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like of just all of the ideology that goes into someone who is white supremacist, like full blown KKK white supremacist.
I hear you. It's just that part being that it has no aspect other than shouting the ideology of some of those members. Like, it felt. It's weird because that's one of those scenes where, like, I could take it or leave it. 100%.
That's fair.
It could go, and I don't think it'd have any change in my perception of this film. I just kind of like like it was there. But then I was like, it's Alec Baldwin doing this scene. Is this why he was asked to be Trump on SNL? Like,
He was Trump before this.
True. Still.
I'm pretty sure he was asked to do it because he was doing Trump. I think it's the other way around. But you got anything else then?
For this movie, without spoiling, yeah, no.
All right, then I'm giving you your 10 popcorn, sir. How many you giving the movie?
I'm gonna give this movie. I'm gonna also give it an 8.
All right. Well, that also puts us an 8.5 because I'm giving it a 9 myself. So,
Mm-hmm. Like, this movie's good, but for different reasons. I personally prefer the more like slower character-driven movies myself, at least as of late. So I think I'd probably watch Queen and Slim and recommend that one first.
I'm the opposite way, but
yeah.
I mean that's why we do this.
Mhm.
Um,
That's just
well
right
then.
now. That's me again in
Yeah.
another week, and it'll change.
Oh, that's fair. Well then,
Yeah.
Let's get ready to spoiler!
Sweet, we're here.
we're here.
All right.
Man.
So this movie, with spoilers, things once again, things I absolutely love is the fact that Topher Grace is freaking
David Duke?
yeah, and how like I love how it's just his voice, his demeanor, his hi everybody.
I'm Eric.
Yeah, I'm Eric. I have a boot up my ass right now. Like,
I'm a piece of shit.
yeah, and how it's just so nonchalant how he starts talking about some of the stuff.
Well, I mean, it does show that for someone of that ideology, it is nonchalant.
Yeah.
It's just it's matter of fact
Mhm.
for them. Which is bullshit, but you know, That's the way they think, unfortunately. It's one of those things that like because like I gotta say, I think the reason why it hit hard for me was that like because the entire movie also puts it in a way that like it shows both sides of white supremacy. Shows the aggressive take action because like the MacGuffin I'm talking about was the bomb
Yeah.
scene where you don't quite know where the bomb is. You think you know, but you're like, but are they playing me? At the same time, which is great. It's exactly where you thought it was, but it's the scene's so well shot that you start questioning yourself. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, like
Sorry.
no worries.
Ugh.
There's a lot of this movie that I really enjoy, though. The nonchalance of everything too. But to me, the biggest thing that like bugs me is how the movie just kind of abruptly ends, where, because there are things I understand that's essentially how it happens, where the movie ends with the department being shut down because, I mean, they don't need to go undercover anymore because they've solved the case. Good for them. They've done so well at stopping the local area from doing their things that they're not needed anymore. And as soon as they stop, the Klan's right back into what they're doing. So
that transition, I think that whole scene. So like they do the phone call with David Duke real quick.
Yep, which is fine.
That was hilarious.
They had to round it out. That's the only part to me that gives us any bit of closure, because it's like, hi, I was the guy you were talking to, and I was
Arya.
Arya.
Yeah,
Arya.
Arya.
Yeah,
Arya. By the way, I love the scene where he tries to explain that in the first part, where David Duke's like, you'd say like Arya instead of R. Like,
thanks for teaching me how to talk like an American.
And like, my ass is over here like, oh, you are just straight fucking bullshit. I know you're bullshit, but man, you really are just bullshit. You can't even make a fucking sentence saying it like that. Like, why in your goddamn dumbass brain did you go with R? Are you okay?
Arya? Okay.
Like I would say Arya, like as in like Arya. Yeah. Because I say yeah. Like, hey, how you doing today? Like, that's a term I use. But like I wouldn't say, like, you don't say Arya unless you're saying you as ya.
Yeah, and that just shows the incompetence of him. And
yeah. And then to play that back to him later was great. But from there, go back to the apartment, where him and Odetta. I think that's her character, right? Let me double check. Is Odetta right? I'm trying to see which character it was. I can't remember.
Are you thinking the girlfriend?
Yes.
Patrice?
Name of Patrice? Okay. I'm like way off. Where is she on the list? Is she
right
way
above
further?
Odetta.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Patrice. I'm bad with names. We all know this.
Yeah,
yes.
No worries. Once he's on the opening image of today's thing.
Laura Harrier? Oh, wait. That was... I found her Marvel connection, by the way. She played Liz in Spider-Man Homecoming. Wow, I didn't even recognize her in this one. Damn. Good job on the fucking, that's, makeup and stuff, right? I can't remember the exact name for every department in the fucking film. Listen, I'm a filthy casual. Get used to it.
Yes, you filthy casual.
That's a great job on their part. Cause I had the only reason I recognized her now is because I clicked on her.
You're like, wait,
IMDb.
that name seems familiar.
Well, also I clicked on her IMDb and she has her hair down in it. In this movie, she has it in a fro the entire time, and it's just like, and she wears glasses the entire time too, which I've never seen her with glasses. It's the Clark Kent effect, dude. It's a legitimate thing.
I was gonna say, are you about to do the Mean Girls just because she takes her hair down and takes her glasses off? She's pretty.
No, she was beautiful in this movie too.
All right, fuck off. With you.
What I'm saying more is that like the glasses effect is a real fucking thing. that my brain fucking falls for all the goddamn time.
Oh, you're a
really
new
fucking
person.
Not sometimes,
Look
yeah.
at me, Dev. I'm no longer Steve.
Well, it's more that like my brain, like if you do a drastic change
Mhm.
and I don't know that it's coming, my brain doesn't automatically recognize you as that person. So like a drastic change is like when someone dyes their hair and cuts it, and maybe like instead of wearing glasses, they get contacts and just change a lot. And I don't see them for like a week, and the first time I see them, they're like that. I may not recognize the person right away. That's just the way my brain works. Because like I also like replace like memories of people with the latest version of the person I saw. So like memories of us in high school, Steven, you look like you now.
I was about to say, yeah. Nah, that's definitely not how I looked, but I understand.
100%. I know that's not how you looked, but my brain, that's how you look.
Also, could you imagine this in wrestling? Like, let's go.
Well, same thing is vice versa too. Like I maybe haven't seen someone for a long time, or like I only see them in like occasional photographs. But the version that's in my head might be like a younger version. It's like one of those people is like is honestly sometimes my brother Alex, who I don't see a ton. He's I don't
like,
see him a lot. So like, yeah. So sometimes when I see him after like a year, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's completely.
I forgot you're an old man now. I remember when you were my little brother. Now you're an adult.
Pretty much. So like, there's our Marvel connection for this movie. Anyways, back to it. The scene where they're back in the apartment, they go into the hallway. I love how that hallway is shot.
Oh yeah, how they're not even moving, but
yeah.
The dolly zoom and
yes,
perfect.
and then it goes to the window. Yell out the window. There's a burning cross, a bunch of Klansmen. Then you start hearing what they're chanting. My brain immediately went, "Man, this sounds exactly like what they were chanting in Charlottesville," which
they jumped to immediately afterwards.
Is what they were chanting in Charlottesville. And this is the part where I'm like, "Fuck, have we really not come that far?" Because this shit still fucking happens. These fuckers marched through that town, ran someone over, and they're still not considered a fucking threat. And it pissed me the fuck off, man. They legitimately killed someone.
Yep.
In Charlottesville.
No one cared.
It just...
And the best part too is like they killed someone who wasn't even a person of color.
Well, so, like, it doesn't matter to them.
It doesn't matter, but still, yeah.
Because it's just someone who's against them. Someone who's just trying to defend just people to have like normal fucking lives. Like it just, like it felt like 3 years ago because I was 2017. Like it felt.
It honestly, when you think about it, yeah, you don't. If you think about it, honestly, doesn't feel like it was that long ago. Because I mean, it was 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, completely at this point. But still, like the events of like these last 4 years have bled together so drastically that it's crazy.
The best way to put it is, it's like the bleed together was essentially 2017 through 2019. That bled together. And then 2020 happened, and that year was its own thing. And the fact that even the last year, this movie is almost 3 fucking years old. That event is almost 4 years old, and we still got fucking goddamn Nazi racist assholes, white supremacist KKK fucks who charged the goddamn fucking Capitol almost a month ago to the day. 5 days from now, that will have been a month ago. And it feels like a different time in some ways because people are trying to act like it feels like a different time. But it's not. That was yesterday. That was in the grand scheme of America seconds ago. So the fact that this movie takes place 30 plus fucking years ago and this shit is still fucking happening I just don't get it, man. I'm upset.
You have every right.
The end of this movie made me fucking upset because it shouldn't be. This is not how people should treat each other. We're fucking humans, man. I don't care if like, because like the worst part of it too is like the people who fight against people getting equality in the world don't realize that like people getting equality also would help you dense fuckers. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it just irritates me. And this movie drove that further in for me. And it made, at the end of it, because I planned on streaming yesterday.
Yeah.
I watched the end of this movie. I was like, I can't. I'm too.
Is that really? You said you had other reasons, but you're like, I can't. I'm just kidding. That was another day.
No, that was a different day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had things that were actually going on that day. I had to work. And I got off work late and all that jazz. I genuinely just like, I did not have the emotional energy because I was just so fixated on like, how are these fucking people still like this? Because the problem is, David Duke is in this movie and he was at Charlottesville.
Yeah, they show him at the Charlottesville interview in this movie. Like, this is Trump bringing America.
How is that man still fucking walking around? It just doesn't make sense at all. The other thing that I do like about this movie, and going into spoilers about it, is the fact that like, when he's talking to Patrice about the fact that like he's a cop,
and
I'm
not
like
a pig,
for her,
but I'm a cop.
For her, that means something completely different than what it means to him.
Yeah,
because he wants to change things by being. Go ahead.
He wants to change it from the inside.
Yeah. And I can understand both sides. You understand both sides of the argument because, like, can you change a system from the inside that is already fundamentally broken?
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the moral questions of this movie. And like,
I mean, especially because they bring it up in this movie specifically too. Like, the part of the movie, part of the reason why there is kind of a resolution with this film is because it ends with the racist, sexual assaulting predator coworker being arrested for being a racist and sexually assaulting our main character's girlfriend, Patrice.
Yes.
While with a bunch of other cops at a bar, like in front of everybody, and because they actually have video proof of it, they arrest him and fire him and all that stuff. But like, it's just kind of played as a joke.
Says he also ended up leaving, like they just got him off the force and he went somewhere else.
Probably, yeah. They play it off as a joke in this movie, and like, sure, fine, it could be a joke, but like, it just
for me after 2020 especially, like, it's one of those things that just like that whole moral question is tougher for me to like. I used to be of the mindset of, well, what if you? Because there was a time in my life where I wanted to be a cop.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure everyone had that at least one point. But I hear
it was like after, I think I was in high school when that really changed for me, because I was like, they're just like this 2020 really solidified it for me. But I was like, I don't know if I'm enough to like. I don't know if one guy can change that system.
Mm-hmm.
And like looking at like the events of the year prior, like it's tough to be like, yeah, Ron, you're right, you can change, and you can make micro changes to things, which maybe in some cases become macro changes.
I mean,
but
go ahead.
But in the grand scheme, like, if the system is already flawed in a lot of ways, where it's predatory and takes advantage of people, and the fact that like you look at our incarceration rates and our population percentages and you compare the two, something's off. With the fact that comparably, more people in the minority tend to end up in jails, in private prisons. It raises things. It solidifies things in my brain that like there does need to be fundamental changes to the system itself from a higher point, not from within. But I get why people want to try to change it from within. If that makes sense.
I mean, literally from the very first moments in the film, he's trying some small changes, but wants to make leaps and bounds. The first change that he does is just getting them to stop calling the people that they're looking for as toads.
Yeah.
Which I've been trying to figure out where that insult originated from all day, and I can't figure it out. So I'll ask. We'll figure that out later.
It might just be a change of phrase from something else.
I hear you. Yeah.
It's just another dehumanizing.
Yeah. And
term.
So he was like, I don't have animals, I have people, so give me their names and who they are, and I'll get you the information. Like, that was a small change, but still, that's barely anything. And that's also why, going back to, like, the arrest and things, and, like, the only reason why that's even kind of sort of a resolution is because in the big part of this film, the police were like, we don't arrest him because we're family, you know? Us, like, that's a whole dynamic mindset from that they have to approach differently too. Like, anytime that you're in a group of people, they want you to feel together by calling you a family, and then they just kind of use that against you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's something tough too, because like, this movie does some stuff too with like Adam Driver's character being Jewish, and like essentially going against neo-Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Like that whole like dynamic of him being like, I don't want to be there. I hate being there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate these fucks, but I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
I don't want to be anywhere near them.
Absolutely.
And like
that's
that, like
that's one of my favorite moments in this movie, honestly, is because that, like I said, the cinematography wise, that was one of the scenes I was talking about, where they're sitting back to back talking about getting their Knights of the Ku Klux Klan card, and how Ron is treating it like a trophy. He's like, yeah, I'm a black man who has a Knights of the Ku Klux Klan membership card. And Flip is like, they're rubbing in my face a part of me that I've kind of forgotten because I've been trying to pass as a white person my whole life. And he doesn't want anything to do with it. And then after that whole conversation, we get a very short, like 1 second clip of him not treating it as a trophy anymore. And it's just sitting there pinned on the board. Just not, It's like, I loved it. It was small and it was character-y, but it was very good. The writing in this movie is great. That's one of I think, if I remember, let me double check, because I'm pretty sure this won an Oscar in 2019 for writing.
I believe you're correct.
Yeah, because it's gotten a couple of awards. Like, it has a BAFTA. It's got like best awards in the BET Awards. It's got some like other things, but
I don't keep up with awards very often, you know me, but
yeah.
I believe you are correct.
Yeah, 2019 Academy Award for Best Writing of an Adapted Screenplay. There we go. It's well written, which it is. This is a very well written story, especially with the comedy. That is one of the best parts. If it wasn't a well written thing, the comedy would be super flat. But the comedy always stood out. Every single time they were trying to make a joke to lighten the mood, it stuck, it hit, and it was good.
It's just a good movie. Make sure you watch it, people.
Absolutely.
Please. I loved this. I don't know.
It was a good week.
Yeah. Dude, we've had a pretty like relatively solid start to the year so far.
Absolutely. I mean,
couple hiccups.
Yeah, we've had a hiccup or two. One or too many drinks. But
yeah.
So we ready to move on to the news?
Sure. Yeah, let's move on to news.
All right. So, I hit the wrong button, but here we go. We're in the news and wrap up, and thank you for Minty for letting us know that apparently it's prison slang.
Okay. Or slang for
African American prison.
okay.
Okay. I hear ya. I can appreciate that. It makes sense, I guess. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I know that at one point they make, like, Toad was a street name for a drug. And, uh, like, licking the toad was a thing, I think, at one point. And that they make fun of it in Family Guy and South Park. But I don't know. Moving on
News.
though. Yeah, news. I honestly didn't really find too much.
Then I have a note.
Go for it.
Guess what character is coming to the Justice League Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Guess what? So not Martian Manhunter because we talked about that
Oh, yes.
before.
Well, but confirmed 100%.
Confirmed 100%. Okay.
They shared a photo of Cyborg with a quote about war, and it said Martian Manhunter.
Ooh. Nice.
So confirmed, like 100%. Also, like on the same note, Zack Snyder's like, someone asked if Cyborg says "booyah," and he's like, "Fuck no." Which, like, I saw some people are like, "Well, you know, Cyborg's not a catchphrase." I get that, but to us Teen Titans lovers from the 2000s, like having like Beast Boy say, you know, the one line, like there are certain lines from that show that stick with me. Wakey wakey tofu eggs and bakey has stuck with me for my entire goddamn life since the day I heard that line from Beast Boy. That is like Beast Boy's line for me.
Yeah.
Booyah is that era, like
Oh,
Cyborg
yeah.
just like kicking ass.
And they gave
That
it
is
the worst time in the movie.
God damn. So like I'm not necessarily opposed to him not saying it, but there's a part of me that's like, man, but like the Booyah is like always like that great moment when like there's the fight, and then all of a sudden Cyborg just you get the jump shot, charging his cannon, like the shots, like you can see like the movement behind him.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Like
and just
one of my favorite things with Teen Titans was the Cyborg episode when he learns he can go past his limits because he's still human and he could still push himself to be better. And like his like arm dials like you're at 111%, and he's like booyah! And it, like yeah, it was great.
yeah,
One of my favorite Teen Titans moments in the show.
yeah. No, there's a lot of great moments in this show, man. Oh my God. So like it's not the worst thing that Booyah's not there, but at the same time, the fact that Zack Snyder's like, fuck no. Just I'm kind of like, you really just don't get it, do you? I can't wait to see your 4 hours.
It's gonna be nice and awful at the same time.
The day we review it falls perfectly on my birthday, man. I cannot wait.
Happy birthday.
What a fucking gift to me.
Thank you, HBO Max. Thank you, Warner.
I mean, so listen, man, that is going to be that is arguably the best goddamn gift I could have asked for, was finding out that comes out on my like it comes out the weekend before my birthday. So I'm like, ha! I am going to spend this weekend in hell.
It's gonna be awful. I love it. All right.
I can't wait.
Nice.
Anything else?
I've got one thing of news here. So,
all right.
When I say the words, the best worst action movie ever, what comes to mind?
Best worst action movie?
Or it's either the best worst action movie ever or the worst best action movie ever.
So my thought process on that is best worst means it's the most entertainingly bad. Worst best means that it's like the bottom of best. So if that makes sense.
Yes, but I'm talking about one specific film that has been quoted as being both. Like possibly the best worst movie ever made, or the worst best film ever made.
What would that be?
I'm talking about Pacific Rim.
Oh, we still haven't gotten to there, have we?
No, we have not.
We were supposed to do that last year.
We were supposed to do giant monsters and giant robots, and then my power
hey, guess
went
what?
out.
We can do an entire month to it.
Well, that's true. But also, guess what? Pacific Rim. No, it's not going to be a movie. There's going to be a Netflix anime TV show.
Okay, I knew about that.
Yeah, it's called Pacific Rim: The Black. Yeah, not many people did, I guess. But
They've known about it. Like they announced that a while ago.
Yeah. They released a trailer for it. It came out just today, and people are very hyped for it.
I didn't realize there was a trailer. I may check it out.
It comes out next month, and it's a 3D style animation. And blah 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 blah. I'd show it on here, but we get in trouble on YouTube every time we do. So we get in trouble on YouTube for the strangest things now.
That sounds about right. YouTube's fucking weird. Twitch is fucking weird.
And I think looking through the news, there's a lot of just looking through a bunch of random headlines, like rapid fire. There's a lot of talks about awards right now because it is nearing award season. This normally would be when the Oscars would start being talked about and stuff like that. It's been pushed back a little bit for most of the awards, but that's just what a lot of people are talking about, like the BAFTA awards and whatnot. Yeah. There are other talks of some unfortunate things, like more people passing away, which is always sad. But I don't want to focus on the sad right now, so let's move on from that. Other news is there really isn't much.
Yeah, it's slow news week.
Yeah. A lot of things are predictions and people talking about movie roles that are coming out in 3 years that we're not super interested in.
Side note, I guess, did you see they released the height of Lady Demetricio?
This wrong show, Dev.
She's approximately 9 feet 6 inches.
I thought it was 8 feet. She's 9.5 feet tall.
She's 9.5. She's over 9.5 feet tall.
Jesus Christ,
man! All right,
she the man.
Real talk. Tall women are attractive. That's just fuck. That's just no, it's not. Fuck off.
Have you seen that picture of it's that Brazers picture of the tiny ginger girl and then the big strong brown haired woman who's just poof. Yeah,
I saw where they made the dog girl black and white.
Yeah, they turned her into a gray skinned person.
Saturation.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that and immediately shared it.
That's climbing gear, Dev. Yes, Minty, Dev would need some climbing gear.
Listen, I am 5'9". I am the average height for a male my age. It's perfectly fine.
And,
I am nor a short king nor a tall king. I am just a king.
Napoleon.
I'm not. What the fuck?
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I was, still maybe freshman Stephen in high school, I would have a lot different reactions. But I mean, hey, she's a sexy 9.5 foot tall vampire lady.
How is that not up your alley?
Yeah.
Fucking,
I'm gonna remain calm, show some composure.
All right, we'll talk more about her tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be here for that because that's gonna be a fun conversation.
I'll wait for you, don't worry. I'm laughing so much I'm seeing stars.
Oh Jesus.
We need to wrap up.
One last thing is talking about her. I saw Markiplier make a video just about her. Yeah, dude. 6 minutes of just being like, oh.
How did you guys not tell me about her?
Yeah, that was funny.
I can't replicate his voice because it's just there's a depth that my voice can reach, and Markiplier's just bass is just below I can hit, like just talking. I can hit it like maybe yelling or something like that, but I can't hit like talking at his level because it's like I miss it. I either hit like just above him or like below him. I don't hit him. There's not like a natural way for me to hit that octave.
Yeah, he's
He's
just
got a
one of
very
those
soothing
voices.
voice.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I got nothing else. If you got nothing, I think things.
I got nothing else.
Okay, so I say we're done here. Just so that you know,
All right.
everybody. Next week, like we said, small changes. Next week we are doing. There it is. There's the thing that I thought was gonna pop up, but I can't move it yet. God damn it. Well, there we go. Now I can move it. So next week, our movies choices are. I forgot to pull it up ahead of time because I'm a dummy.
It's Wrinkle in Time and Selma. We're doing movies directed by Ava DuVernay. I'm so bad at fucking last names. You'd think after fucking 3 years of butchering last names, I'd eventually get better. But somehow I have not improved at my just looking at a name and pronouncing it somewhat that sounds right. Man, I'm just...
I get practice with my my photography job at the schools. Like one day I'll see a George, a Jorge, and a Jordan. They're all spelled almost the exact same way, and I'm like,
wait, Jordan?
Yeah.
How do you spell Jordan similar to George?
Like, I have some stories, man. There's some weird names out there.
That's fair. I didn't know a DeHeaven at one point.
A DeHeaven?
DeHeaven.
Oh. What about LaDasha? L-A.
That's... I mean, and no one's gonna beat goddamn Elon
Musk.
Twat.
Whatever. I have no idea how to pronounce her name. His
I
name.
don't think you're supposed to.
Yeah. Who knows?
Names are hard. People don't get my name half the time, so...
Devon?
Also last name, stuff like that.
Yeah, we won't go into that. So yeah, either way. Yeah, so we'll see you guys next week. And until then... Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Talk to you later. You know, all
See
that
ya.
fun stuff, yeah. Goodbye.